great news about your MRI.
You know, George, I figured they would have found something wrong with your brain.
They found out. It was perfect, just like we always knew.
I understand that George's doctor gave you a little lesson on the central nervous system.
Yeah, it was really neat. He took us down to his office and told us all about the brain.
Yeah, Robert, tell us about the 4 parts of the central nervous system.
All right, the first 2 are easy because they sound alike. They're the cerebrum and cerebellum. Then there's the brainstem that leads to the spinal cord.
Impressive.
Okay, George, the doctor's cleared you to go home now.
I thought you said he was okay.
George is just fine, but as a courtesy, we give our patients a ride in the wheelchair when they leave. George, are you ready to go?
Do you need any help, Mrs. Ochoa?
No, I think I have everything. Luckily, George wasn't in a hospital long enough to leave too much of a mess.
Yeah, he's lucky. This is one room he won't have to clean up.
Hey, are we still going over to the museum?
Museum?
Yeah, the Health and Medical Museum. It's right up the road from here, and Dr. Mancias said it would be a great place to learn more about the central nervous system.
Can we go, Mom?
Well, you're in a wheelchair.
Mom, you know I'm fine.
Well, okay, but no running or jumping, please. Take it easy.
All right, let's go.
Medical Museum before.
I don't think there are many. Whoa, look at that.
Wow.
Awesome.
Hi guys, I'm Adam, an educational instructor here at the museum.
I'm Robert.
Nice to meet you,
Call
Robert.
me George.
Hi, George.
I'm Camille.
Hi, Camille.
I'm Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina. Is this your first trip here to our museum?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Neat.
Really? What kinds of things are you guys interested in learning?
The central nervous system.
Well, you guys came to the right place.
That's what Dr. Mancias told us yesterday.
Dr. Mancias over at the University of Texas Medical School?
Yeah, that's him. See, George hit his head and he had to stay the night over at the hospital. He explained to us all about the central nervous system, like the brain and the spinal cord, so we can understand what was happening to George. We're experts now. We know all about the brain and spinal cord.
That's a really good start. Let's go in and have a look.
Let's go.
Like this is the eye area over here. You can see like the apple. It looks like you can grab it, but it's really not there. This, of course, is the eye area and our giant model of a human eye.
So, what about the brain?
Oh, the brain and the spinal cord are all parts of the whole nervous system. The brain and the spinal cord send and process the information. The nerves in the other parts of our body receive information from the outside world and react to it. The nerves outside of the central nervous system belong to the peripheral nervous system. In addition to the nerves within the brain and the spinal cord, there are nerves that branch out from the spinal cord and the brain. Some of these peripheral nerves receive information from the outside world. These are called sensory nerves, which take information to the brain about the 5 senses.
So these sensory nerves deal with your sense of touch and
smell and hearing and sight and
Taste.
That's right. There are special cells in your mouth, nose, eyes, ears, and skin that receive information. These sensory nerves are highly specialized to perform specific functions.
Dude, I'm confused.
The cells in our eyes, for example, are sensitive to light. These cells are able to receive information from all of the things that we look at. This information is sent to the brain, and then the brain interprets it. And that's how we know that we're looking at a tree instead of a car.
Wow, the brain is responsible for a lot of stuff I hadn't even thought about.
And there are highly specialized cells within the ear that pick up the energy from sound vibrations and pass these on to our brain. That's how we know that we're listening to a doorbell or a telephone ring. Different parts of the cerebrum are interpreting these sensations for us. The back part of our cerebrum is where we interpret all of the input that our eyes send to the brain. What part of the cerebrum do you think controls hearing?
would it be both sides of our cerebrum closest to our ears?
That's right. We've got special receptors all over the body working with your brain and spinal cord giving us information instantaneously as to what's happening in the world around us. The motor nerves coming out of the brain and spinal cord allow us to react to the information that we received.
So, there are two types of nerves in the peripheral nervous system, sensory and motor.
That's right, sensory and motor.
So, some of the nerves help us get information, and the other nerves help us react to it.
It's a good summary. I bet you never knew how many safeguards your body has in place to protect it. If your central nervous system could not communicate quickly with the rest of your body, you wouldn't know when to jump out of the way of an oncoming car or how to catch these.
Looks like your reflexes are working okay, George.
I'm an all-star.
Nice catch, George. This is a good opportunity to go into some of the other aspects of the peripheral nervous system. There are two main divisions of the peripheral nervous system: the somatic and autonomic nervous systems. The somatic system carries signals in response to what is happening outside of our body. In general, we control these responses. They are voluntary, meaning that our brain is conscious of the movement of the muscles.
Like deciding to run away when you see a dog chasing you down the street.
Yes, that's a good example, or when you moved your hands to catch those keys. Sensory nerves signal your brain through your eyes and ears that there is danger. Your brain sends a signal to the nerves in your legs telling them to move. That is a motor response.
But it's also somatic because we control it.
Great, you're really getting the hang of this.
So, does that mean that if I put my hand on something hot, is it my brain that's telling me to move it?
Well, not exactly.
If it's not your brain, then what is it?
Some reactions we make, even reactions of the somatic nervous system, are connected directly from the nerves that receive the impulse to the spinal cord. When you touch something hot by accident, you need a much more immediate reaction. And you're getting it in the form of what is called a reflex. You move your hand before you have time to realize in your brain that your hand is in pain. This reflex keeps us doubly safe from serious injury. If we relied on just our brain, we would be burned before moving our hand.
I guess when the doctor hits your knee with that little rubber hammer, he's testing your reflexes.
You're right.
Our body just kind of does things on its own, doesn't it?
You're right. The things the body does on its own without us having to think about them are called involuntary.
Is it just those reflexes like touching a hot stove that are involuntary?
Oh no, our brain or spinal cord is in control of everything that we do at all times, even when we sleep. It makes it so that we don't have to consciously think about everything that we need to do in order to stay alive. These are the types of things that the autonomic nervous system is in control of. Imagine having to remind yourself to breathe or to make your heart beat faster or slower. Okay, kids, we've learned a lot of new words and they can get pretty confusing. Let's go over them. The peripheral nervous system has two main types of nerves.
Sensory and motor.
Great, and what's the difference?
Sensory nerves carry out the information to the brain and spinal cord.
And motor nerves carry messages out.
And the peripheral nervous system can be divided into two divisions.
Somatic is one, things we control like catching keys.
Great, and what else?
Autonomic.
And what does that do?
It's in charge of the things we don't control, like digestion and the speed of our heart beating.
Great job, guys. We've learned a lot, but there's still a lot more to learn. You guys interested?
Yeah.
Adam,
Great.
how you doing?
Hi, Dr. Byrne.
Good to see you.
Kids, this is Dr. Byrne. He runs the Neuroscience Research Center at the University of Texas Med School.
Hi, I'm Camille.
I'm Robert.
I'm George.
Hi, I'm Sabrina.
How you all doing?
We've been learning about some of the inner workings of the central nervous system.
Terrific. Well, you know, if you ever want to learn a little bit more, I'd like to invite you and the kids to come over to the UT Medical School and I can show you some of the laboratories.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well, I have a checkup tomorrow at the doctor's office. Maybe we could drop by afterwards.
Well, that would be perfect for me. In fact, let me give you my card. If you give this to the person at the front desk, we'll have someone come down and pick you up.
Dr. Byrne, thanks.
Adam, what do you think the kids would be interested in learning about?
Well, Dr. Byrne, we've been studying the autonomic and somatic nervous systems, so your memory research would be perfect.
That would be perfect for me, too. We look forward to seeing you then.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
I'm going to get going. Bye.
Kids, let's go ahead and take a look at the other areas of the museum.